Today we're going to be talking about the supplemental budget and some of the additions and some of the dollars that are attached to these in the 17 supplemental. We've got first we'll do university system, then we'll do Georgia Military College, and then we'll do Georgia Public Broadcasting, GPTC. And if y'all will try to keep that door closed, that is a loud group out there. I can't even hear myself. So we'll get started. Members of the committee are here. We'll have others coming in as they finish up their other meetings. See, the first is University System of Georgia. I think that was going to be Shelley Nickel, but I understand that Roland Downs is going to take over for you. Roland, you want to come up here and make the presentation? Well, I mean, the committee prefers your. You sure? Well, I guess. Okay. Well, we'll take. Thank you, Shelley. You'll appreciate you taking up Roland's slack. Okay. I'm really. And ladies and gentlemen of the committee, they're going to explain the additions to the supplemental budget.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good to see you guys today. I will just go through the items if that's what you would prefer.
That's what I'd prefer.
Okay.
Committee members.
The first item is 41.6.2, which is forestry research, which is at the University of Georgia. And this is one-time funding of $75,000 to enhance the laboratories at the UGA Tifton campus. There are researchers there doing forestry research, and they need this amount of money that is being matched by the UGA Foundation in order to renovate the labs.
Any questions on that particular line item from members of the committee? It'd probably be easier to go item by item and then see if there's questions. Ms. Nickel, I don't see any.
Okay.
Go to your next item.
Second item is one-time funds to relocate the State Records Center. The archives was
41.7.
Yes. The USG is now responsible for the state archives. That happened a couple of years ago. We do right now rent the Records Center through the state Georgia Building Authority. The Properties Commission has notified us that they want to sell the property that the Records Center is in. So we are looking at an alternate center to store the state's records. And this money is not only for the actual move, but it's also to put the equipment and the shelving that's necessary to put the archived records in. So this is one-time funding. We are in the hunt for a new facility as we speak, and so we will be able to utilize these funds quickly and get those the records moved.
Any questions about that? Chairman Smith, hold on. Okay, you should.
I think we've exhausted all the opportunities of property that is currently owned by the state, and we found nothing, and so we are looking for private property to lease.
Okay. Any further questions? Thank you, Chairman Smith. And okay, continue.
The next item is 41.15.1. This is the establishment of the Georgia Center for Early Language and Literacy, which will be housed at Georgia College and State University. This is beginning funding. A lot of it is one-time funding, and then you will see an item in the FY18 budget to continue the build-out of this center. The focus is on research-based early literacy practices for children from birth to year 8. It's modeled after something they've done in the state of Pennsylvania to enhance reading skills at a very early age. It's to do research on it, and then also to take it to child care centers, pre-K centers around the state, and also to our schools. And it is a priority of the governor's.
Any questions? I think that's a First Lady priority as well. Anybody want to move on that one quickly? I figure that's unanimous, but we'll get around to the actual move on that one of these days soon, but sounds like a great program. All right, continue.
Thank you. 41.15.2, this is a matching grant to go after funds from the Federal Advanced Functional Fabrics of America grant. This would be matching funds. This is at the University of Georgia. It is, I can tell you, I really don't know what it is. It is a consortium to revolutionize the fiber and textile industry through commercialization of highly functional advanced fibers and textiles for the defense and commercial markets. So it's defense industry oriented, and it sounds very interesting.
I almost wish you hadn't said I don't know what it is, because then I'm going to put Mr. Carr, we'll put you on the spot here in just a moment to, do you have any further information on that since it's in your backyard?
I do, Mr. Chairman. It was a grant for which we competed through USDA, the Department of Defense. MIT leads it. It's a consortium of universities. It's a total of $75 million in federal funding. Georgia was part of the winning proposal, so we earned the right to use $1 million in grant funding per year for 5 years. The proposal required a state match and an institutional match. So each dollar of federal money that comes down, $1 of UGA money will be partnered, hopefully subject to appropriation, $1 of state funding for a total of $3. So $3 million per year for 5 years would be the total. And it is to revolutionize fabric and fiber for military purposes. Any patents or ideas that come out that don't need to be classified go through a quick startup process to create jobs.
Members of the committee, what a fine example of that University of Georgia education. Thank you, Mr. Carr. Appreciate that. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. The next item is 41.18.3, and this is a reduction of $25,000. It was a legislative commission money put in this year's budget. The commission did not occur, so OPB has elected to take the $25,000 out. It was for Carl Vinson Institute to do a study.
Questions on that? Okay, I think that's all yours, isn't it? Or do you
That's
have
it.
another?
Vet Med Experiment Station
Okay,
is
I'm
the
sorry.
next one. It's 41.19.2. One-time funding again for laboratory equipment at the Poultry Diagnostic Research Center. This is based on the fact that in 2015, there were a lot of outbreaks of highly pathogenic avian flu virus in a number of other states, resulted in the culling of over 7.5 million turkeys and 42.1 million egg-laying chickens, costing the taxpayers over $950 million. And this is really to help us be able to detect the virus and protect Georgia's industry. So it's something that we are very much in need of in our state.
So, yeah, they are, and I think Chairman Williams is also aware of that. Okay, so those sounds like a good program. Good chickens. All right.
The only other thing I want to mention is you see the merit pay adjustments throughout the budget. UGA elected to use their merit funding and tuition dollars to do a 5% merit-based pay increase last year. Only 3% was provided by the state, but they supplemented funds. In order to get the funds to the B units, you know, what we call the B units now, they aren't there anymore, but I still call them the B units.
So do I.
So get them from the teaching part of the university to the activities that are cooperative extension. They moved those funds, and it needs to be trued up in the budget.
Makes sense. Any further questions of the committee for Shelley Nickel? Thank you very much. That was great.
You're welcome.
Okay. Members of the committee, next up is General Bill Caldwell, the Georgia Military College, to explain their portion of the General Caldwell. Thank you for joining us, sir. Thanks, sir.
Mr. Chairman, first of all, if I could, on behalf of Georgia Military College, I just want to thank the committee members for the support that Georgia Military College has received this year to allow us to continue our mission of providing opportunities for students to seek a higher educational degree there on our campuses. I'll be talking today from paragraph 41.21, which is Georgia Military College, specifically first line 2473. It's the increase of funds for training and experience at our Georgia Military College prep school, our 6th through 12th grade, to reflect corrected data. That's $146,000 there. That's for 7 teachers who, although certificates were in possession of them at that time, our failure to get them properly annotated into the database, that's since been corrected, and we've put the system in place to ensure that doesn't happen again.
That's what the supplemental's for, to trip those educational teacher dollars, so that's a perfect place to do that. Any questions on that line item? Okay, continue to the next one.
And then the second one is line item 2474. That's $2.5 million, broken down into 3 subcomponents. That's providing for a one-time allocation of funds for facility major improvements and renovations at our Milledgeville campus, which is our one campus that's 100% state-owned facility. As you know, most of our other facilities are leased facilities that we operate throughout the state of Georgia. But there in the Milledgeville campus, that line item specifically is broken into 3 components. One component is for our new military science building. As you know, we have a Corps of Cadets where we commission about 40 officers into the United States Army each year. We're the only military junior college, 2-year college, in the state of Georgia, one of 5 in the United States of America. But at that facility there, it's $230,000 to help with the new building that will be opened up this fall, really late summer, with both equipment and furniture there for that. And I can break that $230,000 down if you want, how we're going to use that.
Unless the committee wants to ask that question. Any questions of General Caldwell on that? Okay.
The next item is, as you know, Georgia Military College institutional staff resides in the old Capitol building, and we also teach college courses there too. So in the old Capitol building, the OCB, we've got $250,000 for major renovations. It was last renovated in 2000, ribbon cutting about 2001. Since that time, nothing has been done with the roof or HVAC system. That $250,000 to put a new roof on and a new HVAC system in, each about 17 years old.
Questions there? Okay.
And the third one is maintenance, repair and restoration money, MMR money, that would go to the Milledgeville campus. We have a requirement of $5.86 million. We've asked for about 30% of that to help us with it this year, which is a total of 1.76. So that will go into MMR there on the Milledgeville campus site.
Any questions on that? If you, any of you, and I recommend it, take the chance to go down and visit with Georgia Military College and General Caldwell and General Rudd. It's an eye-opening experience, especially the Corps and then the preparatory school as well. Some of the most amazing young people I've ever had the chance to speak with. And I've been on this committee almost 24 years, and their mission and what they've been able to accomplish is pretty spectacular with the limited funding because of the size and that type of thing. Okay, John, continue. I think that's it.
Mr. Chairman, that's the only items, unless there's any other further questions.
The committee don't have any questions. Thank you very much. Thanks for taking the time.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, we have our final individual today for Georgia Public Broadcasting, Taya Ryan.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and committee members. As you can see, I'll start with 41.221. That line item simply represents an adjustment to our merit system. The larger one that we'd like to talk about here, it seems to me, 41.22.2, which was $3.5 million put into the amended budget for us by the governor's office. And essentially, this is a response to legislation that was passed last year, where the state has acknowledged that there is a great difficulty in the way we assess children from kindergarten, first and second grade, that we may not be assessing them as effectively as we can. And the decision was made to start a project that looked at meeting children where they live and breathe, which is more in a gamification kind of assessment. And that means that they play games that they're used to playing normally, but in this case, it's very definitively an assessment process. We have already started on this in a partnership with DOE. Just a preliminary look at how this would go. Just to let you know, Georgia Public Broadcasting now has tremendous expertise in this idea of gamification, because we have been doing it. We have been putting these kinds of educational games into our digital textbook, so it sort of doesn't necessarily come out of the blue. We do know how to shepherd these kind of projects forward. But that cannot happen. We are not the educators. We are the digital educators and facilitators, if you will. This would work as we've been working very successfully in the past with a partnership and collaboration with DOE. They are the experts in the content, as well as many, many educators across the state. I think the point here is to try to figure out how we get these children assessed more quickly, so it's not 5 weeks into the semester and the teacher has now discovered a particular student is way behind, but we can do an assessment that's almost immediate knowledge to the teacher and the administrators at their school. So this is what this money is in response to.
Okay. Question? Chairman Jaspers, hold on, let me get your mic. I think you're number 4 there. Try that.
Thank you, sir.
Try that one.
Yeah.
Sounds like it's on, doesn't it? Try that. Yeah, that's good. Talk.
I can hear you.
Okay. Just my question on that program. What's the timeline on that? Looking for development assessment, having it in their hands?
Yeah, I'm not going to say immediately. These things are really complex. They're very complex up front to build, and then they become very easy later on. Maybe a year and a half. Maybe to get to the second grade assessment, maybe 2 years, but can I get an okay from my educational team over here? Are my timelines about right?
Certainly.
That's correct, yeah. We'll do it as fast as we can.
We're a little more informal in here if we need to get
Sorry,
someone.
I'm
No, you're
sorry,
fine.
sir.
No, please do. I'd just soon hear from.
Yeah, they're from GPB.
I guess additionally, with the DOE's involvement, they'll be doing the back check to make sure that what we develop and give is useful to teachers in the classroom.
They have all the control over that, sir, along with other educators. That is not what we bring to the table. We bring to the table being able to manage the product and being able to help develop the digital aspect, gamification of it. We would be in complete partnership with them. We believe that it is better if this comes directly from Georgia and is aligned to our standards and is built for Georgia, rather than pulling a program like this off the shelf, which in the long run may well be more expensive because you continue to pay fees for that off-the-shelf project.
Okay. I think it's analogous in some ways to the 8th grade textbook that you guys were able to do. That was the content and the educational pedagogy and the efficacy of that were created by our Department of Education, but you guys cracked the code on how to put it together and actually get it out, and it's saving the state $9 million a year in textbooks or something unbelievable like that. I probably got my numbers wrong, but I wish we had every textbook like that. So
We'll work on that.
okay. If you're a publishing house lobbyist, come see me. We'll have a conversation about why that needs to happen. Any other questions for Director Ryan? I don't see any. Thank you very much for taking the time.
Thank you very much, sir.
Great. All right. Members of the committee, that's the 3 groups that had any changes to the supplemental. If anybody's got any questions about anything else, and that's certainly open for that discussion now. Here's where we are. As generally, this week we're closing in on voting out the supplemental, but we're probably going to vote these out, I believe, Michael, the week we come back. Is that, Mr. Leader, I think we're going to vote these out, so we'll have some time to continue to look at this over the next week and a half, if there's any further information on these new dollars that are in the supplemental. And that, quite frankly, this is the first time we've really had dollars in the supplemental. It was a little bit of a shock to me because I didn't see it coming. I had announced to this group during our first meeting that generally the supplemental is basically pro forma because we don't have anything. Not that it's not available for that, it's just a little bit different. So I wanted to make sure this committee had the time to hear from those groups who had changes. I think many of them expected it in the big budget too. And again, there's no rhyme or reason why it can't be done here, but I just didn't want you to think I wasn't cognizant that I want to make sure you have all the time you need to look at these new requests and this new money particularly, and then obviously anything else in the adjustments that are happening in the supplemental as members of the committee. So, I'll probably get you back. Generally, it's a very short 5-minute meeting to vote out the supplemental itself, and then the full committee will meet, and that's a little bit more. Most of our work will happen in the for the big budget, for the 18 budget, and then we've got a significant amount of the session to go through with that. We'll talk about bond projects. We'll talk about anything that the members of this committee want to bring up and look at. Please let me know if there's, and I'm doing a lot of this because of the new members of the committee that haven't been here before. I don't generally look for command performances from every president to come in here and talk about each and everything. They're certainly welcome to do that. If you guys have got some particular program that you want to have somebody come in and talk to you about that's relevant to our budget unit that we're responsible for, let's just let me know and we'll set it up. If you want to hear testimony on certain programs, certain concepts, let me know and we'll schedule that. But otherwise, I generally just work through this with the department heads if necessary, and led by the members of this committee, and we'll talk through the big budget in detail as well. At that point, we actually have a bill in this committee coming up, and that's a bill that I authored, so we'll have a hearing probably the week we come back on that. Representative Chairman Golick is the co-sponsor on that as well, so we'll be talking about that Title IX bill, which we had significant discussions on with one of our institutions last year. So I think we'll continue that conversation. Any questions, comments? All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for taking the time. Many of you from the universities and from all the different agencies for coming here today. Members of the committee, thank you. This meeting is adjourned. All right.